You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name's Andrew Mackay-Smith, and this interview subject you're about to listen to is Josh Weaver. Josh is the guitarist in US outfit Royal Thunder. The reason for the conversation is to promote their 2017 album, Wick. So let's have a listen to what Josh has to say. Here we go. Looking forward to catching up about the band because I'm going to bestow a compliment that may feel like a bit of a heavy crown at first, but it was one of the first things that came to mind when I was listening to the new album Wick, and that's that Mel's vocal reminds me very much of Robert Plant. Now it's
cool.
Now it's not the timbre or the tone of the voice, but it's the way that she manages to control her vocal delivery and the way the vocal sits in the overall mix. So have you heard that about the band before and a Zeppelin influence?
No, I mean, I don't think I've really ever heard that, but that's really awesome that you hear that. It's always interesting to hear what people hear when they listen to the music or, the album. It's always neat to hear the different influences that people may hear. Yeah, I mean, we definitely are all Zeppelin fans for sure. I actually didn't get into Zeppelin until, a lot later than most people did. Growing up. I mean, it was always on the radio playing, but wasn't until, maybe 10 years ago that I really listened to him and was like, man, this is, to me, Led Zeppelin 4 is one of the best rock and roll albums of all time. So, yeah, I mean, well, it's for sure on us.
No worries. So who would you say the band's inspirations would be?
I mean, we're definitely... minus Evan, but he still loves the bands too. Like we're definitely babies of the 80s and 90s. We grew up in that era, and just all the bands. Like for me and Mel, we started playing because of Nirvana, and all the the bands like the Cult, the Cure. Just growing up, Metallica, just all those bands from that time period for sure.
Yeah, cool. So, as I say, I'm really enjoying the album, and I do feel that Wick is quite an accomplishment, but was it a challenge to create?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we went to the studio, and we only had, April Showers was the only song we really had completely done and pretty much knew exactly what it was going to sound like. But then, beyond that, man, we had to go in there and write a full album. I mean, we had parts that we kind of, we did pre-production and had some parts. And then we just pretty much had to shape up like full-on songs out of some of the parts that we had. And, so yeah, it was definitely, we care about what we do and we very much so and take it very seriously. So, it was it was definitely a very hard process. It is a hard process recording because you want to have a great outcome and you care about how it is and you're not going to settle for anything other than the best in what you got, And so there's definitely times where we go in there together and individually, you may not have anything you get into the studio, you may sit down to write something or to record something, you just don't have anything. So you really have to dig deep and push through that a lot of times.
Cool.
But, it's really worth it. It's worth it, the hard work. And in the end, it's, we're happy the way it turned out.
Yeah, no, it's certainly one of my favourite albums of the year. I mean, I do a lot of interviews with people, and oftentimes it's the first time I get an introduction to a band. But with Wick, I think I've played it about half a dozen times since Friday or so.
That's awesome.
Been getting into it, had it on in the background and the like, and typing away and doing things with my other job and the like. So yeah, no, congratulations on it. It's awesome. It is quite interesting that you and I get to have a bit of a chat because I had a chat to Brett Campbell the other day from Pallbearer.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to make a comparison because I felt your guitar playing. You had that in you had something in common with Brett in that you have a wonderful command of the instrument, and you actually don't overplay, and that complements Mel's voice beautifully. So how do you guys write your music? Is it yourself and Mel that sit down together with an acoustic guitar, for example, or can you talk us through the creative process?
No, yeah, actually, absolutely. I mean, the vocals are usually absolutely the last thing to come and be put on the album. What generally ends up happening is either me or Will come up with a part, and we'll just bring it to the practice room, and each one of us will. Everybody else will write their part around, a basic structure or a riff that we bring to the table.
Sweet, no worries. Now, tell me about Atlanta, home of the world's busiest airport, of course. Did the city itself or the surrounds influence the band's music at all?
I think it has to, for sure. I think that I think it definitely does, for sure. And people say that they can definitely hear like a Southern influence in the music. So I think it's definitely in there somewhere.
Cool. Now, what's your relationship like with Australian audience, and what's it been like over the years?
Well, we've actually not even been over there yet. I mean, that's definitely it's definitely on our radar, and hopefully we'll get over there really soon.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely looking forward to making some fans out there.
So, what got you into playing in bands?
I got a guitar when I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and my older brother, one Christmas, my mom and dad got this. My brother wanted a bass to be in a band, so of course, being the younger brother, I wanted to have what he had. So he got a bass, and I got a guitar, and he was doing his thing, but definitely Nirvana is what gave me the reason to actually pick up the guitar and actually start playing.
Can you share me a funny story from the road, on stage, or in the studio, and it can be as not safe for work as you so choose?
A funny story. And I know there's some good ones.
Yeah, I put people on the spot when I ask this question. They usually don't anticipate it, but yeah, it's almost good because it's not pre-rehearsed then.
Well, I remember a funny situation, like when we were like 2013, or it might be 2014, somewhere around the CBI era. It was we were just a three-piece. It was me, Evan and Mel, and man, we were raw dogging it. I mean, we would get in the van and we'd sleep in the van every night. Like me and Evan would straight up like doubles, and finally we were in like a auto parts store or something, and saw that there was like I think it was like a transmission fluid like funnel with like a tubing on it. We finally got to the point where we'd be at a truck stop or a rest stop, and we'd get just tired of getting up and peeing in bottles, so we bought the old transmission fluid funnel, so we could just wake up in the middle of the night, stick it out the door, and piss out the door without having to get out of the van.
Fair enough. Any spillage?
Oh, there was always spillage for sure.
Oh God, yeah, gotcha.
Mel would get so pissed at the funnel.
Gotcha. What's on the immediate? What are the immediate plans for you guys? What's on the horizon over the next 6 months? Is it a bunch of touring in support of the album?
Yes, that is like the number one priority, just to stay as busy as we can on this album and get out there and play the songs and translate them live.
Cool. Okay. Anything else that you want to share with the readers and listeners before we complete the chat?
No, man. We're very excited to get out there and play some boomerangs and koala bears.
No worries, mate. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure to chat to you. I wish you guys all the best. As I say, it's a fantastic album, so congratulations on it again, and I hope you guys do really well.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. You have been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that interview subject was Josh Weaver, the guitarist in US outfit Royal Thunder. Thank you so much for listening.